The Bible is a guideline to life, and people have failed to see it as this Bible has got a solution to almost every problem that we talk about, especially when you come to moral issues. And I believe that judges should be reading more of the scripture. But it's unfortunate that many of the names mentioned seem to indicate that there are people who should be reading the Bible. And that is also something that is shocking to us as religious people.
We'll come back to that. But Dr. Maurice, lawyer, I want to stay with the lawyer, Maurice Ampao. I've heard comments from your colleagues and the like on this. Looking at the turn of events, we had expected them to file, obviously, to defend themselves. One is going to court to ask that videos should not be made public. What's your own view on it?
I'm disappointed in any judge who decide to go to court and to seek such a redress at this time, because the video is already out there, and can you restrain the international community from showing it?
But he says it's an invasion of his privacy. Anas has invaded his privacy. They took the video without his consent. He has very legitimate reasons.
You see, what is privacy? When you're a public figure, as a judge, we have entrusted you with so much power to exercise judicial power, and we've given you so much respect that if you look at the Constitution, judges are supposed to be people with integrity, proven integrity, high moral standard, and then we also expect that they should conduct themselves. They should see their profession and their calling as a privilege. We've given them all the best in terms of salary, privileges, and so if you stoop so low, said that you, by your act and action, you have exposed the judiciary to public hatred, contempt. Said that if you look at the demeanor of the Chief Justice, she looks so devastated, and you can see that by your act and actions, you've disappointed everybody, and now you are seeking through technicalities to stop what everybody knows. You can't stop it. So to me, I don't see why any judge, any person, anyone and in the first place, the matter is being looked at. So why do you want to place injunction? The court will not grant injunction on criminality when we have sworn an oath to defend the Constitution, and the Constitution says that, look, we believe in transparency, probity, and accountability, and then justice belongs to the people, emanates from the people, and you are administering on their behalf. And now you have misconducted yourself, and the people want to know there is something we call justice must be done, but it must be seen. That's transparency. So we all want to see justice being done. So
we will stay on this, but Anas has painstakingly, this has taken, he knew he sort of have covered all the angles. So he petitioned the president, the Chief Justice, before this whole thing came out. But when I was reading some of his transcripts online, you could tell from even some of the cases that the court clerks seem to be very powerful. Do they have any influence whatsoever?
You see, I have said that it's hardly for any judge to carry justice and sell it, because hardly will a judge, when the case comes before the judge, will call a lawyer or the parties that, look, come, and if you don't give me money. So what happens is that there are people who corrupt the judiciary, there are people who corrupt the judges, and those who corrupt them are the clerks and the judicial service staff members, because most of them are closer to the judges, and most of them sit in front of the judges, so begin to hear the cases. They know the weaknesses of the judges. So what they come out is they see parties, and then they tell them that, look, if you want to win this case, the judge is closer to me. They take money. At times, they don't give this money to the judges. At times, too,
in this case, the gentleman, the court clerk is called Ken Gabriel, and he negotiated with Anas to take 15,000 from him, and said that's the amount. He initially said 20,000, but then they reduced it to 15,000. Then, on their way to see the judge, he went to speak to the judge and all that. But when they were about to get to the judge, he said, when they get to the judge, they should give the judge 8,000, because he had agreed with the judge he would take 10,000. So he wanted to pocket the 6,000. So indeed, the court clerks decide how much they want to take, how much they want to give these judges. But how is that? How is that even possible?
It's possible because you, the judge, you've lowered yourself. If you decide not to see who you are, you decide not to see how the Constitution has elevated you, and excuse my language, a clerk who is your servant, you stoop so low to the extent that the clerk that begins to know that you yourself are corrupt, and then if you dare, you will expose you. The clerk can blackmail you, the judge, because the clerk knows that you are not supposed to take bribe. So once he realizes that you have corrupted yourself, now he will decide how to give you, and if you dare the clerk, he will expose you. So that is exactly what is happening. So you see clerks coming to negotiate with judges, and then once they realize that the judges have compromised, then they as an agent, they have their commission. But if you see a judge who knows what it's worth, no clerk, no established staff member can come close. And some of the judges, when you go and some of the clerks, when you go and contact them, and then you tell them that look, go and see, they say, hey, this my judge is not corrupt.
Not the one that
yes. So the question is that the moment you open yourself up there, the clerk gets to know that you are corrupt. Then they become very powerful.
Okay.
And you can see that it's not only the clerk, but lawyers. There's instances where the judge is saying that, look, the lawyer have called me, the lawyer have come to see me. Are you getting me? So it means that some lawyers also are guilty. They go and corrupt the judges. They go and negotiate with the judges. There are some lawyers who have never won case until they see judges. So, you see, and some of them are even on payroll of judges. And if it happens like that, then you, the other judge, who is not privileged to do that lawyer, you do all your research, you master your brief, you go to court, and you can see the frustration you go through. The judge who is corrupt will not listen to you, will intimidate you, and at the end of the day, they will even look into your face and say, look, I've already taken a decision. You can go to appeal. So it's a difficult situation. Then we also have the parties, the litigants, who also believe that the only way they can win cases is to see the judge. So they come to you, a lawyer, and say, look, lawyer, I'm giving you so much, but this one is also for the judge. Because I've learned that if you don't go and give the judge money, you won't go with the cases. So we have parties and litigants who also corrupt the judges. So it's a situation whereby we have all failed. Lawyers, judicial staff members, and then litigants. Because hardly will a judge say that, look, come to me and then I'm selling justice. They don't. They sit, and lawyers who are friends of judges, as I sit right now, I have about 15 judges who are my classmates. So at times you go there and you talk to the person, and if you don't go and corrupt the person, then later you turn around to say that they are corrupt. So that is the difficulty we find ourselves. So as we are looking at the judges, let's begin to look at lawyers. As they are at the bar conference, I'm going there tomorrow. The lawyers, I'm sure they are watching me.
All right, I mean, Loyampa, we'll talk about that and how we can bridge this whole, or we can break away from this whole selling justice, because justice, like you said, judges sit there, they don't go to them. It's the people who come to them. But for the religious bodies, for instance, do you see money as the motivation, as the only motivation for these judges?
It shouldn't be, but I was speaking somewhere this evening, and I was in church actually this evening. I was speaking about this issue of moral uprightness and, the need for it. I was addressing our men in fellowship. And I was telling them, you see, sometimes we put up our system such that we tend to corrupt people. And in certain areas, you'll find that once someone begins to work, at least he's assured of a living, he's assured of where he will live, and so
but
on. There are systems. Have
privileges.
Yes. You see, where it is. So for a normal human being, if he has these things, he shouldn't be seeking for more. But the human tendency is sometimes to grab and grab and grab. And we are never satisfied. And selfishness and greed underlies all these things, And so when you are never satisfied, people will find means of always making sure that you get the things that you are seeking. I seriously think there is something wrong with our society. There is, we must begin to build values, build values depending on Scripture. The Scripture has got it all. And sometimes we tend to blame ourselves, even as men and women of God, that we don't seem to be teaching what we should teach. We seem to be teaching about prosperity and all those things, but we seem to be forgetting that we are preparing people to live in this world, to live righteously, and then to make it to heaven. And this is where sometimes we tend to blame ourselves,
Okay.
So we need to be able to do that as people who have been called to do that. Okay. We have the word of God.
Okay, all right. Lawyer Paul, how do we break it? How do we break the cycle of of not corrupting our judges? How do we break it?
You see, it's the first is to look at the leadership. The Chief Justice has a bigger responsibility. You have been entrusted by the Constitution to supervise these judges and to administer the affairs of these judges. So these judges, you must have a system to monitor their activities. You see, can you imagine if the Judicial Council or Chief Justice engage in service of others? That look, there's perception. People have been talking about corruption.
So it would have been a proactive
yes,
thing.
Anas, can you come and find out whether my children are corrupt?
And in this case, yes, the video would be for the judiciary.
So that the Anas will go out there, go and find out those who are corrupt and come and report. Chief Justice, I went out of 300. These are the ones. These are video. Then it will be treated confidentially. But then we heard about corruption, perception, and every time the Chief Justice talked about it, corruption is not good. And the system that he puts in place failed her in his own office. I personally have filed a petition against 2 judges. The other parties came to corrupt me 800 million cedis, that's 80,000 Ghana, to betray my client. And then also said that he's going to see the judge. Then I filed a petition alleging that somebody comes to corrupt me, a party, and he has alleged that he's going to see the judge, but I don't have evidence whether he met the judge or not. So that when I petitioned the office of the justice,
they should have responded.
They did not invite me to prove my allegation. I received a letter saying, Lawyer Ampal, sorry, your petition, there's no prima facie case. So do you know what happened? The party started laughing at me because I've lost it out there and I was not given the opportunity. And so many of these petitions, if you go to the public complaints unit, the director there, he says that look, petitions comes and then they just tell you there's no prima facie case. You see, so you have a situation whereby the office of justice, there are people over there who did not help the woman. So they have a way of ignoring petitions, and another day, what happens? You have issues at times, judges who are corrupt are transferred instead of dismissed. So they go and perpetrate the same corruption. You see, so the issue is that you must first look at the leadership. That's why some people were calling for.
So for her resignation, you think it's in the right direction?
In other jurisdictions, it would happen, but not in Ghana.
Oh, when you say that, in other words, you think she should be.
In other jurisdictions, definitely, if you supervise over a corrupt institution, you will resign.
She's taking action.
Yes, but I say in the other jurisdiction, you will resign. But here, she wants to stay on, and I sympathize with her. She has been my role model, so she has taken the right step by making sure that the constitutional provisions to deal with this is there. But she should look inside and find out. And you realize that there were certain judges, I don't know, 3 judges to this government. Those judges, don't go there. Don't go there.
How so?
You can see that they are pure in heart. These judges, some of us, you have to appear before them, their humility, and you can see. See, but the issue is that if you don't put up systems and you won't supervise some people, and surprisingly enough, those judges who were corrupt, they were closer to the Chief Justice. They were all in Accra, no closer to her office. So she has so much confidence in them.
But then it means they betrayed her trust.
They betrayed her. They betrayed her and has actually affected her because her legacy, she has served well, and just in coming October, is going to inaugurate a beautiful edifice. Sure. And then all of a sudden, this canker. So
and Lawyer, even before you continue, what's the difficulty in tracking those at the district level?
You see, with the district level, it's so easy because they are not closer to the Chief Justice. That is why I commend those district court judges who were far, like Tobodom. Those ones, I'm surprised, because it's easily, when you are far from the center, the power is easy to be corrupted. But for them to resist, but there are some of the judges, I realized that it's because of petition pending against them. When an arrest came, they thought that they are being set up. See, because some of the high court judges who refused to be corrupted had petition that I know against them. So some of them, but with the women and one justice upon, I knew that there was no petition, and they I can.
They were genuinely.
Yeah, genuinely. So the issue is that when it comes to the issue of corruption, the district court judges, it was so easily, because there's one at Ewutu. When I got to find out that this judge, with his salary, owns a fleet of cars, and then is into real estate. He has acquired huge land. And so I knew.
Maybe clients give them free.
No, surprisingly, I knew that he charges 500 Ghana for bail.
Oh.
Yes, I had this information. People, if you go to Kaswa, it's all over.
So you think that beyond Anas, they should investigate more, because there's a lot more going on that perhaps he couldn't even capture.
Oh, yeah, Anas, the sample is too small. He didn't go to the Court of Appeal.
Sure. Oh my God.
No, he didn't go to the Court of Appeal. And he went to the Supreme Court. You see, so the issue is that, let's put this test. How many of our judges who are sitting down and watching us look into and swear oath that they have never been corrupted? So never be corrupted. They've not received any bribe or be influenced here and there. That is the standard.
That's like going before Jesus.
Yes, that is the standard. Or go before Antoine and let all our judges go and swear before Antoine. They should be humbled. It is only those who know, for the past maybe 20, 30 years, that they have not been corrupted. So it's a humble call. They should sit down and say that, God, thank you very much that Anas did not come to me.
Okay, all right. Will you ever pay bribe if you are in such a situation? I mean, you said you already, you have been approached. You didn't betray your clients, which is good.
Yes.
Because sometimes it gets to a point you realize, are the lawyers together? It gets to a point the case is just not moving, and you question yourself, are the lawyers together? Where am I in all of this?
You see, as a lawyer, you have two things. You have clients who come to you and they'll tell you, please, I've already seen the judge, so you just go and represent. It happened to me in a criminal case where the person came for bail, and then I was charging 2,000 Ghana cedis, and he said, no, I'll give you 1,000 Ghana cedis because the prosecutor says that you have already seen the judge. Oh, and I was like, wow. So I was forced to take the 1,000 Ghana cedis because I needed it too much, and I went to the court. Sure. And my client told me what actually is going to happen.
And it's exactly what happened. Wow.
Right. And then you know what happened? The prosecutor, when the case was called, instead of me addressing the court, the prosecutor stood up and before he said, my lord, you are not opposed to bail. The accused person, he has a people to
They are sorted.
He was arguing the case for me.
All right.
Then I realized, what is this? So at times, and the painful thing, every lawyer must be happy with what is happening, because the judges were cheating on us. Sure. We are private practitioners, and we need this money. Judges are well paid, and our little money, they also take it away from us.
All right, all right. No, Lawyer Paul, thank you very much. I'm sure we'll have another opportunity to do that. But for what would you be doing? This has come. There's already the public uproar. A lot of people are saying that there's pressure on the Chief Justice to hasten it, and in trying to rush the case to, you may end up not just erring, but it may even slip and may not even face prosecution. So what would you be doing in this period when the public is so anxious, they want to see everything and they want justice end now? What would you be doing?
Yeah, let me say that what has happened in our nation is a very serious issue. If you cast your eyes back, some of the things that left to public killing of judges and the rest, is a loss of confidence. Mm-hmm. And the ability of the masses sometimes to take things into their hand because they don't trust judges. So what we as religious leaders will continue to do is to teach our people and to be patient, and also look and trust that in every case they will stand. If they don't go to corrupt the judges, certainly things will not go this way. So it's something. It's not only the judges, as the Emperor has been saying, even the people who are in the trouble and all that. So it's something that we will do our part. We will teach the people. We will pray with the people. We will continue to support our judges. They are very good judges, of course. I know some of them that come to see us. When
for
even
spiritual
they
guidance, when certain cases
sure,
come,
when a certain case is coming, you want to say, please, this case is very risky. There is one who approached me and said, there are so many pressures coming from very high places, and confides in me. Can you pray with me? And you pray with the person. He goes, and you find that he goes and deliver judgment right, and you are all proud.
All right. Then.
That's why the pressure that will come upon their end. People will use spiritual whatever means to try to do away with that, but because we support them.
I don't know if you've seen
prayer.
the video of Justice Quist, I believe, dancing and appellations to TB Joshua and the like. So they see
it's Justice Ajet.
He has the King Gabriel as his clerk. Yes. I mean, he's dancing. So they have prophets. They pray
prophets
to.
that they pray to.
Yes.
And it's in fact for us in the religious circles, we have a job to do.
All right.
We have a job to do. We must stand and push morality, in everything. And certainly it must go down to sometimes I believe that, you see, the removal of teaching these things from the schools. When we were kids, we were being taught the Bible right from infancy, and then we go to a time they say, remove, and very soon we are removing. Reintroducing these things into society.
We have run out of time in the studio here, and thank you very much, Apostle Samuel Yawinchi. He's the General Secretary for the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council, and also lawyer and Paul. Always a pleasure to have you in the studio. I'm sure we'll have the opportunity to do more. I think we should probably be looking at it in phases, because there's so much more we can do with this to making sure that it never returns to our country, never again. Because when you watch the international media, and it's embarrassing how they describe this whole situation, how that even makes us look